I'm Brennan Gilmore, Executive Director of Clean Virginia. This is paid for by Clean Virginia Fund. Clean Virginia is an advocacy organization that works for clean and affordable energy and for a Virginia government that works for everyone. As part of our work, we endorse candidates in statewide and state legislative races. And we are very proud in this statewide cycle to endorse Jay Jones for Attorney General. Jay Jones is a lifelong resident of Norfolk, Virginia, who has a distinguished career in public service and in law. I met Jay about 7 years ago when we were working to hold powerful monopoly utilities accountable and bring down excessive bills for customers across the state. Jay, it's great to see you. Thanks for sitting down and talking about your run.
Well, happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me, and we're very excited for our campaign for Attorney General and what we've built and where we're going in 2025.
Well, I wanted to start kind of general and see what motivated you to run. What are your top priorities for the race?
Well, certainly the election in November was not the outcome that we had hoped for, and the chaos that has been emanating from Washington is making Virginia families less safe and less secure. We're so motivated to protect Virginians and protect working families. I am a father of 2 young boys. I am worried about their future. And as we've traveled around this Commonwealth, everybody to a T has a story about how all of that chaos is impacting them. It does not matter whether you're from Northern Virginia, Hampton Roads, South Side, Southwest. People are now feeling the pain. And we want to make sure that they have an Attorney General who will step up, who will push back on that chaos and make sure that we're using the office to protect them, to go after the price gougers, to go after the corporate polluters, to go after the landlords who are making it hard for folks to put a roof over their heads. There is so much that we can do, and I'm so excited to be able to use this office to work for Virginians as it should.
Jay, you've spent time, of course, in the legal profession and also as a delegate. How has that shaped your approach to public service?
Well, it's always been about protecting people and making sure that we are working on their behalf. As a delegate, we did tremendous things. We expanded Medicaid. We increased teacher pay. We raised the minimum wage. We put protections in for our environment that were historic in Virginia. And then as an assistant attorney general, I was doing consumer protection work. So I got to go after the worst of the worst, the folks who are harming Virginians and folks across this country, going after big banks, big tech, the slumlords who make it difficult for folks to have a roof over their heads. And then in the last few years, I've been in the private sector litigating against Jason Miyares and Glenn Youngkin on behalf of folks like the Virginia State Conference of the NAACP, fighting for voting rights. Everything that I've done in my career, whether it be in the legislative space, in the public sector, or in the private sector, has been focused on helping people and protecting people. And this office, the Attorney General's office in Virginia, is built to do that.
What specific actions would you take as Attorney General to confront these rising prices and to make sure that our government works for everyone and not just the wealthy and well-connected?
Well, I've been all across Virginia over this campaign over the last 6 months, and I've heard repeatedly from folks all across Virginia about how they feel like government isn't working for them. I've been to Botetourt County, I've been to Floyd County, where those folks are worried about what this is going to mean for their community and regional hospitals and how they might have to travel hundreds of miles now to go get health care. We've heard from folks in Virginia Beach who are worried about what these cuts mean for the school bus drivers and whether or not their children are going to be able to get to their schools on time every single day. It's personal for me. My mother-in-law is a 30-year government employee who now has to send Elon Musk an email every Friday telling him what she did last week. Across Virginia, people are terrified. They are worried about what all of this means for their safety, for their security, and for their family. It is incumbent upon me to let them know that this office works for everybody, not just the political party that you're affiliated with, not just the people who voted for you. We want to usher in a new era in Virginia where people feel they have trust in their elected officials and trust in their government, and I hope to be a part of that, and I'm looking forward to using the office and every mechanism at my disposal to get that done.
Jay, Virginia's campaign finance system is notoriously lax. People call us the Wild West. As Attorney General, what would you do to ensure that the campaign finance rules that we have are enforced? Because oftentimes they're not. And what other types of rules would you want to see in place to make sure we have an electoral system that's truly fair?
Well, the system is broken, and I think everybody can agree on that. Spending has gotten out of control, where legislative races cost millions and millions of dollars. Statewide campaigns cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, We need some legislative action. As a former legislator, I know the process and I know the folks who are sitting in those chambers, and we can go work with them to get tougher laws on the books to make sure that the Attorney General has the ability to go and enforce these laws and enforce the things that should be happening in Virginia as it relates to campaign finance. I have always felt that how you deploy resources is a reflection of your values. I want people to know that as Attorney General, I will be committed to working for them every single day and letting them know that this office belongs to them, not a particular person or a particular way of thinking.
Jay, you served in the General Assembly, and you know how challenging it can be to try and navigate a body that was created over 400 years ago and doesn't necessarily reflect the needs of modern Virginia. What type of structural changes would you make as Attorney General to ensure that ordinary Virginians can run and hold office?
The General Assembly was built by certain people for certain people. And as a member of the historic 2017 class, which ushered in the most diverse set of people that the legislature had seen in its history, I know that that is a good thing. And we want to make sure that we're giving everybody the opportunity to participate in the system. And we know that we have some real structural changes that need to be made that would facilitate that. One, paying our legislature what they deserve to be paid. It has become a full-time job over the course of many years, and we want to make sure that talented people have an incentive to participate in this process. So many people sit on the sidelines because they can't make it work. We also want to make sure that the legislature is meeting more frequently than 45 or 60 days out of the year. The world is now moving very fast. Things are happening every day. We want our legislature to be dynamic and responsive to those challenges. And if we make some of these changes, I believe strongly that you'll get younger, dynamic people who will be better public servants in Virginia. And so as Attorney General, we'll use the office to help advocate for these changes in the legislature because we know that that's going to have great and tremendous long-term benefits for this Commonwealth.
Jay, thank you for your leadership, for your vision for running, and for answering these questions today. How can people get involved in your campaign?
Well, I would ask that everybody go to our website. It is jjones.com and sign up and become a part of this campaign. You can volunteer. You can help in so many different ways. Early vote starts on May 2nd, and the primary is on June 17th. And so we want to make sure that we are getting our message out to as many Virginians as possible because we are building something special, something that I am incredibly proud of. And as we march towards this primary victory and we march towards November, we have an opportunity to put Virginia back on track. I hope that everybody will join us and we can go do this together, and let's get to work.